Welcome to The Deep Dive. Today we're looking into something, well, pretty personal, but also really universal. The feelings around losing a childhood comfort object.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, we're diving into the lyrics of Donnie Doom's song, Teddy Bear Blues, and an analysis that kind of unpacks the emotions in there.
Yeah, and if you've ever felt that, the real pang when something you cherished just disappeared, this look at Teddy Bear Blues should really hit home.
Definitely.
It's amazing how much emotional weight we can attach to, well, what seems like a simple thing.
It really is. So we've got the full lyrics for Donnie Doom's song, and this analysis piece, Teddy Bear Blues Emotions Explored.
Right.
Our goal today is basically to understand the depth of feeling that this kind of loss can bring up, like we see in these sources. Okay, so where should we start? Loneliness seems like a big one.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of isolation, it's right there in the song. The lyrics explicitly mentioned a lonely night, that's in verse 1.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then there's that line in the chorus, repeated, I'm feeling all alone. It just, drives it home.
It really does.
And what's interesting here, I think, is that this loneliness, it isn't just about a missing toy. Psychologically, these objects often represent a consistent, non-judgmental presence, something that helps regulate emotions, particularly for children. So when it's gone, it can trigger a really genuine feeling of insecurity.
That makes a lot of sense. You think about a child maybe alone at night, and that teddy bear is often the one constant thing.
Exactly.
The lyric, late at night, I close my eyes, you are by my side. That really captures that consistent presence, doesn't it?
It does.
So when that's gone, it's not just like a physical gap. It's losing that feeling of being anchored.
Right. Anchored is a good word for it. And feeling unanchored, well, that leads straight into the next big theme, missing and longing.
Ah, yes.
That comes through so strongly. The repetition of, I miss my teddy bear and I miss him so, all through the song. And then it ends with that simple, almost quiet, I miss you, Teddy. It speaks volumes about how deep that connection was.
Yeah.
It clearly wasn't just a plaything. It was filling a pretty significant emotional role.
It really makes you stop and think, what did the teddy bear represent?
Yeah.
It wasn't just fluff and fabric, was it?
No, not at all.
It felt more fundamental somehow. What do
Yeah.
you think creates that really intense sense of longing?
Well, if we zoom out a bit, think about early development.
Yeah.
These comfort objects often become what psychologists sometimes call transitional objects.
These are transitional objects.
Yeah, think of it like a bridge,
Yeah.
a stepping stone between a child being completely dependent on their parent or caregiver and starting to become more independent.
Oh, okay.
The teddy bear provides that feeling of security, of comfort, when the caregiver isn't right there. So the longing is not just for the bear itself, but for the feelings it gave, the safety, the reassurance.
That's a really clear way to put it. And it explains why the chorus keeps saying, I need him by my side, oh, don't you know?
Right.
It's not just wanting it there. It's tied to that really deep-seated need for security, like you said, a little anchor in what can feel like a big, sometimes overwhelming world. And suddenly it's gone.
Precisely. And the lyrics definitely communicate that feeling of being adrift, lost. The speaker says, I'm feeling lost.
Yeah.
That's a pretty powerful admission of, well, emotional distress.
It is. And then my heart's been turned around. That suggests a real, disruption to their whole emotional state.
Absolutely.
And the searching, the lyrics mention, searching high and low, can't find him anywhere. That action really underlines how significant the loss is.
Yeah.
It's not just sitting back feeling sad. There's this real active drive to find that source of comfort again, to get back that security.
But what's also quite touching here, I think, is that even with all that distress, there's this little element of hope. But it's mixed with sadness.
You mean the line, oh, I hope my teddy bear is happy out there?
That's the one.
Yeah.
It really stands out.
It's bittersweet, isn't it? Even though they're sad themselves, the speaker is still wishing well for this lost object. It shows such a deep level of attachment, almost. Like a sense of responsibility for the bear's happiness, even when it's gone.
It really does. And that connection, that deep attachment, it's sort of illuminated even more when you look at the nostalgia in the verses.
Yeah.
The fondness.
Oh, yeah, the memory.
We hear the teddy bear was, oh, so soft and sweet, how we did everything together. These aren't just, casual comments. They show the role the bear played, a companion.
Totally. And lines like, always knew how to make me smile and care, or we'd go on adventures. They really paint a picture of a genuine relationship. It wasn't just a passive thing getting hugs. objects. It was an active part of the speaker's life.
Yeah.
And then you get descriptions like, soft and cuddly, comforting, my special ally.
Special ally.
Well,
That's a powerful phrase.
it really is. It emphasizes that emotional support aspect, doesn't it?
It does. And interestingly, these really positive, warm memories, they actually make the current feeling of loss even stronger.
How so?
Well, it's the contrast. The contrast between the comfort and companionship they had and the emptiness they feel now. That just makes the absence feel even sharper.
Yeah. Like remembering a warm hug when you're feeling cold. The memory itself makes you notice the cold more.
Exactly that. It highlights the current chill.
So, okay, if we look at the whole emotional journey in the song, Donnie Doom, using what seems like simple language, really taps into something incredibly deep about human attachment.
He really does.
The main emotions, loneliness, missing, that feeling of need, the distress, they're all stated so clearly, and then they're reinforced by these vivid memories, just like the emotions explored analysis highlights.
Yeah, it just underscores how these comfort objects, they're not just things. They get filled up with our feelings, our experiences. They act almost like external regulators for our inner world.
Right.
Especially when we're young.
Right. An external regulator. That's a great way to think about it. Okay, so to kind of wrap up our deep dive on Teddy Bear Blues, it seems pretty clear that this song, while maybe sounding simple on the surface, it just beautifully captures these complex feelings: loneliness, longing, need, distress, all wrapped up in losing a really cherished comfort object.
Absolutely. And those fond memories of companionship, they just deepen the sadness, paradoxically.
Yeah, but then there's that little glimmer of hope, too, wishing the bear well. It adds another layer, doesn't it?
It does. It adds a real layer of emotional complexity.
So this kind of raises a question for you, listening. Think about the objects, or maybe even things that aren't objects, things that are intangible, that have given you comfort and security in your life. What feelings would come up if they were suddenly gone?
Yeah, and maybe why? What does it tell you about the power these connections hold for us? Why can seemingly simple things become so incredibly meaningful? It's definitely something worth reflecting on.